Hello! Today we're doing a tutorial on how to turn a page of sketches like this one into a fully repeatable pattern like this. It's quite fun, so I hope you enjoy it. First things first, we need to sketch out our design. So when I'm doing repeat patterns, I try to aim between 6 and 10 individual elements. So with this one, I've got 9. You can do more, you can do less, but obviously you need enough to make sure that the repeats work properly. This pattern I'm actually doing, it's for a project that I'm working on, and this one's all about monsters. So I thought, didn't have any other videos planned for today, so I thought we'd have a go doing this. If you've already got designs ready to go, you've already done some drawings that you want to turn into a pattern, you can skip ahead into the video, and I'll put the timestamp in the description so you can see when to skip to. When I'm colouring these, I'm going for a very rough kind of colouring style, but literally this is all just personal preference. You can literally make the images for your pattern however you like. This is the same method and it will work with all of them. When choosing colours for my patterns though, when I'm doing something quite stylised like this, I really try and limit my colours, sorry. I've aimed between I think 4 or 5 different colours I've got in this one, and I'm balancing them out, so we'll have 2 yellow monsters, 2 pink ones, 2 blue ones, 2 green ones. If I ended up with like 6 pink ones and a couple of yellows, once you put it into the pattern, obviously all of the characters will be surrounded by the others, so you know it's going to look really obvious if you've got a ton of yellow ones. So trying to keep it as balanced as possible makes putting it into a pattern a lot easier. If you've got things that you've drawn like on paper, so if you've got watercolour pieces or whatever, that you'd like to turn into a pattern, you can technically do it the same way. You just need to make sure you're scanning it at quite a high res and then putting it into Photoshop or something like that in order to remove the background, because you will need each of those elements individual when we put them into Illustrator. So as long as you can scan them and get rid of the background, you can pretty much use any kind of image or drawing for this. So once we're done with this, the next step is to take off all the backgrounds in Photoshop. We don't want any of those backgrounds, and we want to remove all of them except for one. And what we're going to do is we're just going to export each one of the little monsters and stick them in a folder. So we're just going to make a new folder, and I'm going to call it Monster Pattern. And we're just going to name them 1 to 9. It just makes it easier to know which ones you have and haven't done. So we're just going to do this with all 9 of them, so then just remove that, choose the next one, and export that one too. We'll just keep doing that until we've exported all of them. Once we've done that, just open them up in your File Explorer. You can see another pattern I've made in the background there as my desktop. And we're just going to edit them and just crop them down. So literally whatever edit you get, depending on what computer and stuff you're using, just crop them all so that they fit quite nicely. And here's the final 9 monsters, all cropped and ready to be made into a pattern. So when we open Illustrator now, what you want to do is you want to make sure that your artboard is a square and then it's 1000 by 1000 pixels, which is super important because we're going to be moving stuff around based on coordinates, so it makes it really easy if you've got a good number to work with, like 1000 by 1000. So what we do is just right click on your first image and press open with Illustrator. If you try and drag images in or use the place tool, you'll get a smart object which will not work, so make sure that you're doing it this way. And we're just going to do this with every single one of them. Okay, so now that we've got all of the monsters or our images, whatever it is you're making your pattern with, in Illustrator, the first thing is to do is just to make a new layer, and then we'll copy any one of these, so just choose whichever one you want to use first and copy and paste it onto that new layer. I'm going to just stick it there, and then make sure we've got our symbols tab open. So if you haven't already, you can just go to window and then symbols down here at the bottom, and then just press new symbol. We'll make it a graphic and a static symbol. Don't worry, I never name mine. You won't ever need to find it again, I don't think, so you can name it if you want. Press OK. So now you get this little cross in the middle. That's how you know it's a symbol, and it's also appeared here in our little symbols bar. So What we're going to do is we're going to move this into the top corner, making sure it's 0, 0. So now we're just going to be adding the same symbol in, how many times is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 times. We're going to have 10 symbols, and we're going to set the x and y coordinates so that they're spaced in the exact right place, and that's how we will get the repeat pattern. So we've got one there, so you can literally just drag and drop it, and then if we drop them into roughly the right place, then it's easier to put in the coordinates. So this one's going to be 500x by 0y, so it's still on the same line. And then the top corner, 1000, 0. And then this time we're going to have minus 250 for the x. And the y will be 500, because now we're in the middle of the page. There we go. Windows, 250, 500, 750, 500, and 1250 by 500. And this is why it was important to make sure that the artboard that you made in Illustrator was 1000 by 1000 pixels, because it's just a lot easier to do your x and y coordinates when you've already got a 1000 by 1000 grid. If you did a different size, one, you'd have to make sure it was a square, and then you'd also have to make sure that it was easy to kind of chop up into these kind of regular shapes. So this one's going to be 1000 by 0. Oh, no, it's not. It's going to be 0 by 1000. Get that the right way around. There you go. What's on here? There we go. $500 by 1000. And the last one is 1000 by 1000. There you go. So now we've got each of our 10 symbols, and we can move these over just a little bit. So yeah, move our original ones over, just so we can see that that is the grid that we're going to be working on for our repeat pattern. Now, each one of these is a symbol, which means whatever we do to this will happen to all of them. So if we double click on it, then we know that our symbol mode is open, and then however we move this, we'll move all of them, but obviously we don't want that. So if we double click out of the symbol and get our cool characters back up, so all you can do now is literally just choose any one of them, copy, choose any of your symbols to go into, and paste it and just stick it next to it. Don't worry about arranging them too well right now, we're literally just making sure we get them all in, and then we can arrange them around. So if we double click out, see how that monster, we've now got 2. So just keep doing this, so just copy into the symbol, paste. Stuff like that, so we just need to space them out a bit more. So if we double click into the symbol, we can kind of, I think we might need to make some of them a little bigger. So if we make some of these bigger, obviously just making sure that you double click out the symbol every now and again, because you don't want to be moving around too much and then realise that you've like overlapped some of them. So you do want to keep checking that. So let's see. We've still got a big gap down here, haven't we? This guy a bit bigger. And this bit is just kind of a lot of like trial and error. You're just going to keep moving bits around, seeing, you know, maybe that one will fit better down here, stuff like that. So it's just playing around, trying to find something that will work. Like that. No, now these ones are overlapping. Still not too sure. Right, what I'm going to do next, I haven't finished moving around the pattern, but what I am going to do is I'm going to show you a way that you can mask these outside bits around here so that you can only see what's in your pattern square. Sometimes it's a little easier to see what you're doing. So you just create a new layer. You might want to zoom out a little bit, get a rectangle. And draw a rectangle covering everything that's in it. And for now I'll keep it green, but usually I just colour pick it to the same colour as the background. It helps it blend in a bit more. Then create another layer and do another rectangle, well, a square this time, but make it exactly the same size as the artboard. So yeah, it should be 500 by 500, and the width and height should both be 1000, so it comes exactly. So then what you're going to do is we're going to select that. We've got that one selected. We're going to select the really big one, go to Pathfinder, and we'll literally click to minus front. And it pretty much just cut it out, like a big cookie cutter. We've just cut out that middle square, so it's got like a bit of a window, so that we're showing through that. So we're colour picking out. So I mean about making it grey, and then I'll simply just lock that layer so we can't touch it. Now it gives us a better look about what our pattern's going to look like. Now, when I was drawing it, I was planning to have this pattern with a dark background, so let's add that in as well. Just slip that behind the layer there. So, okay, don't need layer 3 anymore. So on layer 5, we'll just draw, once again, another rectangle just as our background. I was kind of going for quite a dark blue. Like that. There we go. And we'll lock that too. So there you go. Now, let's continue moving these little bits around. There you go. I think we're just about where I wanted it. And then all you do now that you've got a finished pattern, is you just go to File, Export, Export As, and then you can literally save it wherever you like. Save it in here. You can make it as either as a PNG or a JPEG, and just make sure that you click this one that says Use Artboards. What that means is that it's only going to export what's in your artboard, and it's not going to take any of the grey stuff or any of the overlapping shapes. It will literally just take that one square. So we'll just save this. That's monster. Oh, and stop. Monster pattern. You can just choose. The settings, I usually have mine really high because these patterns are going to be kind of big, so I'd like to have it as high as I can. But usually 300 would do. And then just press OK. Okay, and yeah. So here we go, everyone. Here's what our final pattern looks like. If you do need any help or have any questions, feel free to just comment them, and I'll try and get back and help you as much as possible. Apart from that, thank you very much for watching. I hope this is helpful, and I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.